Great morning, great afternoon, or great evening, everyone. I am Quincy D. Supan, the leader of Group 12. My classmate and I will discuss Chapter 12, Separation and Termination of Employment. This chapter navigates the complexities of both voluntary and involuntary separations, offering insight into legal compliance, ethical considerations, and best practices for managing this transaction. From resignations and retirements from layouts and terminations, this Chapter 12 provides a comprehensive overview of the processes, documentation, and communication strategies essential for minimizing disruption and maintaining a positive organization culture. It also develops into topics such as severance package, outplacement, service, and the importance of conducting exit interviews to gather a valuable feedback for continuous improvements. But first, we will talk about the learning outcomes. The dismissal of an employee in the Philippines that Jade Subnet will be in charge. The Labor Code of the Philippines, number book 5, that Rodelyn Ventura and I will discuss. And termination of employment will be held by Rodelyn Ventura. Retirement from the service that Vincent Villar will discuss to you later. And chapter summary, I will discuss with Vincent from the last of this presentation. Also, at the end of this chapter, we will have a quick Q&A, so listen and stay tuned. Let's get started!
Father, we thank you for gathering us all today in this important endeavor. We ask that you bestow your guidance and blessing upon each attendee. May we honor one another by keeping an open mind. May we voice our truth and listen with an open heart. Bless everyone present today, that each may be able to share his or her contributions and gifts. Grant good health and safety to loved ones left outside this room, and bestow peace and goodwill to all of us. We ask for your wisdom and grace to use our talents for the betterment of others. May the various activities related to this day be a success through your intervention. With gratitude, we offer this prayer in your name. Amen.
So for the table of contents, learning outcomes, dismissal of an employee in the Philippines, severance pay with termination, due process in the context of termination of employment, difference between just cause and authorized cause of termination, causes for termination by the employee, just cause for termination, authorized cause for termination, the Labor Code of the Philippines Presidential Decree 422 as amended. Book 6 Post-Employment, due process in the context of termination of employment, retirement from the service, study, and discussion question, the Labor Code of the Philippines, Book 6, termination of employment, and lastly, the chapter summary.
Objectives. The goal of this study is to cite the difference between just cases and authorized cases of termination. Number 2, describe the process in the contents of termination of employment. Number 3, discuss and explain the provisions of the Labor Code of the Philippines on termination of employment and retirement from the service. And number 4, not but not the least, explain retirement from service.
Good day, everyone. I am Jade Subnet, and today I will be reporting about the separation and termination of employee. This topic is very important because it talks about how and why the employee can be removed from the work, the rights of both the employer and employee, and the legal process that must be followed. Dismissal of an employee in the Philippines. In the Philippines, dismissing or ending the work of an employee is a serious matter and must be follow the law. The Constitution protects employees from involuntary servitude, meaning no one can be forced to work if they don't want to, except as punishment for a crime. Because of this, employees have the right to resign anytime. So, meaning, in the Philippines, ending someone's employment cannot be done lightly and must be follow the law. The Constitution says that no one can be forced to work against their will, except punishment for a crime. Because of these employments are free to resign from their job whenever they choose. So there are two kinds of resignation, the with cause and without cause. The without cause is no specific reason. The employee must give a 30-day written notice to the employer. This is allow the company to find a replacement and avoid work problems. If the employee does not give notice, they may held liable for damages. The with cause, valid reason. The employee can resign immediately without giving notice. Reason includes serious insult to the honor and person of the employee, inhuman or unbearable treatment, crime committed against the employee of their family, other similar or related causes. So it says that there are two kinds of resignation, the with cause and without cause. The without cause resignation is the employee is required to give 30-day written notice to employer. This notice gives us the employer enough time to look for a replacement. If the resignation is with cause, such as when the employee suffers serious insult, human ill treatment, or if the employer commits a crime against the employee or their family, the employee may resign immediately without giving notice. On the other hand, forced resignation is not allowed and is considered a form of illegal dismissal. Severance pay with termination. Separation pay given to employee if they are terminated for unauthorized cause. If it's due labor saving devices or redundancy, the employee receive 1 month pay per year or service or 1 month pay, whichever is higher if it's due to retrenchment, closure not caused by serious losses or disease. The employee receive half a month pay per year of service or 1 month pay, whichever is higher if the closure is due to serious business losses. No separation pay is required. So it says that severance pay or separation pay is the money given to employees when they are legally terminated for authorized reason. This reason is it depends on the situation. Like if termination is due to installation of labor saving business, redundancy, retrenchment of closure or business, the employee receive either half a month or 1 month of pay year of service. The higher amount will be given. And if the termination is because of disease that cannot be cured within 6 months, the employee is also entitled to separation pay. However, if the closure of the company is due to serious business losses, then no separation pay is required. So next, the difference between just cause and authorized cause for termination. Just cause happen when the employer or employee commits a wrongdoing that allows ending the job. The authorized cause happens when termination is due economic or business condition of the employer. So in other words, the just cause is the employee fault while the authorized cause is the company or health situation is the reason. So causes for termination, the just cause, it includes serious misconduct in which like fighting in the workplace, stealing, or doing wrong while at work. Willful disobedience, if the employee refuses to follow lawful or reasonable orders from the employer. Another, gross and habitual neglect of duty. It's like, for example, always being absent or not doing your work properly. And fraud or breach of trust, stealing company's fund or lying in a way that damages the company trust. And another, commission of crime. If the employee commits a crime against the employer, their family, or the company itself. And other analogous causes, other similar situations that are also considered a serious. So another just cause for termination by the employee, the serious insult by the employer. If the employer or the representative insult of the honor or dignity of the employee, this becomes a valid reason to resign. For example, if the boss publicly shames or disrespect an employee in front of others, the employee can resign immediately. Another, inhuman and unbearable treatment. So this happens when the employee is treated harshly or unfair by the employer or the representative. For example, verbal abuse, physical mistreatment, or being forced to work unsafe and humiliating condition. So if the condition is become intolerable, the employee can resign without delay. So another, if the employer or the representative commits a crime against the employee or any the employee's immediate family members, this is just cause for resignation. For instance, if the employer assaults, harasses, or threatens the employee or their family, the employee has right to leave immediately. Other analog causes. So next, the authorized cause. The authorized cause are different. Here, the employee did not necessarily do anything wrong, but they need to terminate for business or health reason. The reason includes installation of labor-saving devices, which means when machine or technology replaced by the human labor. Redundancy. Redundancy is when there are too many there are too many employees for the same position. Retrenchment to prevent losses. It's like when the company or if the company is losing money, they may reduce workers to survive. Next, the closure or cessation of business. It's like when the company completely shut down. And lastly, the disease. If the employee has a disease that cannot be cured within 6 months and keeping them at work is harmful to their coworkers. Lastly, the due process in the context of termination of employment. Due process protects the employee from unfair dismissal. The employee has the right to know the reason for termination. In case of just cause, the employee must be given a chance to explain and defend themselves. In case of an authorized cause, the employer must give a written notice 30 days before termination. A copy of the notice also sent from the Department of Labor and Employment, which is the DOLE. So in short, the due process are fair. Employees cannot be fired without any explanation. For just causes, the employee must be given the chance to explain themselves before dismissal. And for authorized cause, the employer must give a written 30-day notice before the termination, and copy must be sent from DOLE. This ensures that termination is legal and fair. The Labor Code of the Philippines Presidential Decree 422 as amended. Book 6 Post-Employment Termination of Employment.
Good day, sir. My name is Rodeline Di Ventura. Article 278 coverage. The provision of this title apply to all establishment of undertakings, whether for profit or no.
According to Act 279, Security of Tenure, an employee who is unjustly dismissed from work shall be entitled to reinstatement without losing his other privileges and his full back wages, especially his benefits. According to Act 280, Regular and casual employment. Unemployment should be deemed to be casual if it is not covered by the preceding paragraph. That any employee who has at least 1 year of service, whether such service is continuous or broken, shall be considered a regular employee with respect to the activity in which he is employed, and his employment shall continue while such activity exists. According to Act 281, probationary employment adjust cases or when he fails to qualify as a regular employee in accordance with reasonable standards made known by the employer to the employee at the time of his engagement, meaning the employee who is allowed to work after a probationary period shall be considered a regular employee. According to Act 282, termination by employer, a misconduct or disobedience of employees to the employer's orders that are related to their work. B. Employees should not be negligent about their work and duties. C. Fraud and intentional breach of trust by employees are the ones that employees responds to. D. Committing crimes such as the employee's fight against his employer has a heavy penalty. Any one of the employee's family can talk to the authorized person. E. And other like the above will not be allowed by the authority.
Article 283, Closure of its establishment and reduction of personnel. Employer may also terminate the employment of any employee due to the installation of labor savings device, redundancy, retractment to prevent losses, or the closing of cessation of preparations of the establishment or undertaking unless the closing is for the purpose of circumventing the provision of this title by serving a written notice on the workers and the Ministry of Labor and Employment at least 1 month before the intended date thereof. In case of termination due to the installation of paper service device or redundancy, the works affected thereof shall be entitled to a separation pay equivalent to at least as 1 month pay or to at least 1 month pay for every year or service, whichever is higher in case of reference change to prevent losses and it causes of closures or cessation of operation of establishment or undertaking not due to serious business losses or financial reserves. The separation pay shall be equivalent to 1 month pay or at least one and a half month pay for every year or service, whichever is higher. A fraction of at least 6 months shall be considered 1 whole year.
According to Act 284, this is as ground for termination. An employer may terminate the services of an employee who has been found to be suffering from any disease and whose continued employment is prohibited by law or his health as well as to the health of his co-employee, which means he had to pay separation pay equivalent to at least 1 or 1.5 month salary for every service.
Article 285. Denomination by employee. A. An employee may terminate without just cause the employee-employer relationship by serving a written notice on the employer at least 1 month in advance. The employer upon whom no such notice was served may hold the employee liable for damage. B. An employee may put an end to the relationship with observing any notice on the employer for any of the following just causes. 1. Serious insult by the employer on his representative on the honor and person of the employee. 2. Inhuman and unbearable treatment according to employee by the employer of his representative. 3. Commission of a crime or offense by the employer or his representative against a person of employee of any of the immediate member of his family. 4. Other causes analogous to any of the foregoing.
According to Act 286, when employment not deemed terminated in all such cases, or employer shall reinstate the former position without loss of seniority rights if he indicates his desire to resume his work not later than 1 month from the resumption of operation of his employer or from his relief from the military or civic.
Retirement from the service is a far for more than a simple conclusion of the career. It is the closing of chapter written of over many years. Sometimes decades of dedication, discipline, and quietness and sacrifices. It is the moment of person of official steps away from the active duty for a formal employment, either if they reached the required of age, completed the prescribed years of service. Yet, the retirement is never just a line. It's an employment record of the last signature of documents. It's the celebration of life's work. It is a society of seeing your effort. You have let mark your years. Comments have built something lasting. Think back to the very beginning of every retired journey. A young man or young woman entered the workplace full of hope, perhaps nervous, perhaps excited, but determined to make difference. They reported for their first day of duty, learned the ropes that began, the steady of whim of workplace that they would become part of their identity. Through the season of life, marriage, raising children, facing personal trials, keep showing up, offering their time, their skill, and their heart. Retirement is the society of gathering those countless days, saying that we say effort, we say value of your story. In the government, uniformed service, military police, fire and coast guard, the meaning of retirement depends in further men and women service. Have never been Maryland job, it's a calling, demand, courage, and discipline. Sometimes, the great personal cost, there are sleeplessness or patrol long deployment far from family, and the moment their duty come become offered. Their silence and sacrifice, birthday missed, milestone posted, personal dreams aside from the greater good. When the day of retirement arrives, every medal pinned to their chest, every certificate they handed across the stage, every handshake and salute is the nation the way of saying we will not forget the years you gave us, stand in gratitude for your courage. In the private sector, to retirement is a milestone of honor. Companies and industry thrives not because of machine or buildings, but because of people who have lent their talents, creativity to make vision possible. Behind every break, technology, every successful product, launch, every class of eager, learned of every hospital that healed the sick of the invisible woes. They effort, quietless, shape of the world when such a worker, retire of company, possess the knowledge, your contribution to build the future, your ideas, and the ability to have become a part of foundation. Yet, to speak only from the past would become tell only half the story. Retirement is a simplify of ending with a power of beginning. It's a bridge of decades of responsibility to season of freedom and possibility. It's again turning to light the page to a chapter that invites the discovery and renewal. For those, the new chapter means finally embracing the passion set aside during the business working years. The retirees who once rushed through morning can no linger of coffee, read the newspaper, slowly or watch the sunrise in quiet reflection. Garden are planted, painting are started, musical instruments are dusted off. Old hobbies bloom again in new ones, photography, memories, and every learning language becomes source of joy. For other retirement, in a chance to travel to visit the hometown they live. Decades ago, the walk through historic cities of peaceful countries to aside to explore the beauty of Iceland and the mountains. Each trip became not just a vacation of celebration, it's a time of finally own it. Still, the other discover of calling service is the new ways they volunteer. It's a local characteristic of mentor, younger, professional, or shared wisdom of classrooms and community of centers. Their careers may have concluded, but the influence continues rippling outwards in life they never ever met. Retirement is also give a gift that cannot be measured, time with love of ones. It's a chance to attend the grandchildren school, break to take long wait to partner, to sit around the dinner, take without glancing at the clock. The simple moment to so often hurry up of missing during years of full-time of work become the treasure of the new season. Financial retirement is supported by carefully built system, pension, gratitudes, healthcare, benefits, and saving plans. These are not mere handouts, they are earned rewards, recognition of decades of service, and the promises that who have gave their best years can live the rest of days. In dignity, security, such provisions allow retirees to focus on living well rather than worrying about survival. Yet, beyond the quick ceremonies, beyond the certificate and financial plans, the heart of retirement lies in relationship and memories. It is the shared laughter of college who have become family. It is the pride of children who have watched a parent quiet. Perseverance is a ceremony of long nights, solving problems of victory, celebrate together and set back endurance by side. This human connection from the legacy of career and they continue to shine after the final day of work. Retire is therefore to look both therefore to both look back to look forward. It's a stand to the doorway between who has been what is yet to be. It's a knowledge that who once work has mattered and to embrace the freedom to shape a life beyond the time clock. It's a closed chapter with pride and open another chapter of hope. When we honor someone retirement, we are doing more than marking of the employment end. We are celebrating life of purpose. We are recognizing years of loyalty and sacrifices. They have strengthening to our community, inspired those who have followed. We are offering gratitude not only for the task completed, but the character delivered for the integrity. Perseverance and quietness, heroism that define lifetime of service. So as retirement takes the final step, out of office, the classroom, the barracks of the field, may they carry with them the applause of their peers and their blessing of the generation they have served. May they find rest and joy in the days of ahead and many continues inspire all through daily duties but through example of life we live in. That is the true essential of retirement from the service. Not merely leaving to work behind, but the stepping into horizon wild by promises, creating gratitude for the pause and hope of that still to become. Employer and employees possess an equality of rights. Employer can dismiss employee for awful reason. After hiring a legal procedure, the employer bears the burden of proving dismissal of lawfulness. Employees hired for a fixed term of time. Considered contractually employees, not regular employees. Their termination due to their expiration contract does not constitute illegal dismissal, and the lack of notice, the sanctionally contract is naturally ends of simulated time.
The wrongdoing of an employer-employee can be aggravating and destroy the employer-employee relationship, which means the wrongdoing of an employer and employee can be destroy the relationship between them. Upon retirement, employees have the rights to receive benefits when they retire due to existing law, which means they have to receive a benefits, athletes get their benefits when they retire.
Good afternoon, Sir Emerson. Good afternoon, classmate. I am Ingrid Erich Tito Rubio from the Group 12. Case Study 1 highlights the power of dreams, the importance of hard work, and the impact of support system in overcoming challenges and achievements entrepreneurial success. Her journey is an inspiring example of how determination and resourcefulness can transform a simple dream into a reality. In Case Study 1, Blessing and Opportunity exemplifies how quality work, strong relationship, and strategic investment can lead to business growth and improve quality of life. Her partnership with Julio is a key element illustrating the power of shared goals and mutual support in overcoming challenges and achieving success. Case Study 2. T Company operates on the principles that investing in employee wellness is not just a perk, but a strategic move that yields tangible business advantage through increased productive and innovation. In Case Study 3, the situation at Dell Company underscores the critical need for organization to establish and to maintain comprehensive policies addressing workplace harassment. Without such policies, companies risk legal and reputational damage and fail to provide a safe and respectful working environment. Case Study 4. The evaluation of talent acquisition cost is a strategic necessity for VTR Solution Limited. Enable the company to make informed decisions about its recruitment investments. Improve its ability to attract and maintain talent and support its overall business objectives.
Case study number 5. A case of workplace inequality, discrimination, and fly high company. On March 15, 2001, a batch of 32 female workers working at Fly High Company filed with a discrimination lawsuit against the company. The compliance claimed that they were affected by the discriminatory practices of Fly High. These female compliance represented almost 8,000 other women. Employees applied high located in 4 Asia countries. In response to the accusation represented by its female employees, Fly High Company state that the charges regarding unfair treatment and reprisal were unfounded. And untrue Fly High declared that for quite some time it had sounded and stable anti-discrimination rules and keep those rules for guaranteeing quality and fairness to each employee, regardless of their original sex.
Underscores the importance of fostering a workplace culture that values diversity, equity, and inclusion. Companies must not only have anti-discrimination policies in place but also ensures that these policies are effectively implemented and enforced to prevent unfair treatment and promote a fair and equitable environment for all employees.
Case study number 6. Planning for workforce challenges. Anticipating future human research needs in a transportation company. Ryan Palmara started his professional as a supervisor in a large private firm. His strong preferences in the study of human behavior and psychological gave him the opportunity to analyze the effective and usual manner of behavior of people that he interacts with. His dream is to be a human research sub in a well-known firm hands. Following his graduation, he enrolled in a human research management program. Subsequently, Ryan was hired by a transportation company for a supervisor position. Years later, because of his experience and competency, he worked in for other transportation company under the HR department until he became the HR manager for DPL Transport, which during the time was in its growth years as a component for HR policy. Ryan thought of designing a flat organizational structure for DPL Transport because he believed that a flat structure during growth years would mean easy communication flow and more flexibility in terms of changes.
Ryan's approach to HR management at DPL Transport highlights the crucial role of HR in supporting organizational growth by fostering effective communication, promoting flexibility, and empowering employees. His consideration of a flat organizational structure demonstrates a forward-thinking approach to managing the workforce during a period of expansion.
Case study number 7. Keeping the team together. Dealing with employee turnover at Vengeance Bank. As a currently hired senior manager for a community bank, Raimundo Apari was presented to every employee in the main office and oriented about the job that he will handle. He was introduced to Angelica Lauro. He became interested in her job and inquired about the function of the office machine assigned to her. Angelica responded that she practically did not have any idea on what the machine is called or what purpose it served. She clarified that she has only been employed by the bank for barely 3 months. However, she knew exactly how to run the device as announced by her boss. Angelica is one of the excellent performance of the bank. At one of the subsidiarity officers, that officer is charged to talk to Apari. Apparently inform him that things are going wrong but she only has one idea. On the one hand, she commended that the employee turnover rate was too excessive, that whenever an employee has been hired another employee resigned. She further declined that because of the tremendous workload, she can hardly entertain customer and had limited time to interact with the new hires as they come and go after visiting the other. Discovering identical complication in most of them, Raimundo founded what the main office should do or what move he should make and take. The more he thought about the matter, more confused Raimundo. The more Raimundo got confused, he could not quite discover the exact reason why why the situation is happening the way that it is, and he did not know whenever to reveal the fact to be company CEO.
Raimundo's dilemma underscores the importance of identifying and addressing the root causes of employee turnover. To effectively tackle this issue, Bench and Bank needs to conduct a investigation, gather data, and implement strategic HR initiatives to improve employee satisfaction, engagement, and retention.
Case study number 8, setting standards in employee onboarding. The need for employee orientation at the Lerus Cleaning Wash Shop. Patricia Ann finished her business degree from a private university in April 2008. After considering various job offers to follow what she had planned to go into a business venture with her mother, Dorian Larus Dorian. Introduced first land or mat shop in 2001 and second one in 2004. Dorian had experienced manpower issue like any entrepreneurial world typically encounter because her shops are run with just one unexperienced and unqualified service person. By 2002, despite the fact that the shop has practically no skilled labor, Durian had decided to take the risk by offering additional services in each of her shops, which include dry cleaning and pressing of clothes. She ventured on a strategy or related diversification whenever she added service lines that are identical to those that the company presented offers. She did not strategy because she wished to make us of some idea spaces in the Perry White store that she is currently to make the diversification public. Durian rebaptized her two shops as Leroux's Cleaning Wash Up, and was overlay placed with their achievements. Shop had a regular stores manager and on average about 6 workers. It was in the inauguration of the fifth stores that Patricia joined after graduating from university.
Patricia Ann's arrival provides an opportunity to implement a formal employee onboarding process, including a comprehensive orientation program. This program should cover company policies, procedures, service standards, and job-specific training, ensuring that all new hires are well prepared to contribute to success of Larus.
Question discussion. 1. Identify the difference between a just cause and an authorized cause of termination. Cite example. 2. Explain security of tenure. 3. Discuss provisionary employment. A. What criteria will Mr. Benjamin use to determine which employee will be separated? B. What support service will you offer to those being separated in their transition? C. In your opinion, how many tailors does Patrick need to help here with her project? B. Explain your basis for selecting the respective tailors that you have chosen to help Patrick. 1. Cute issue and challenges to grievance handling, particularly involving sexual misconduct and place? 2. What action should Gracia Immaculada take to address and settle the sexual harassment issue? 1. Describe the different sources of expenditure involved in the requirement process. 2. Make a calculation of costs involved from the time application generation to the final hiring decision. 1. Examine and discuss the implication of Ryan business strategy for its human resources plan. 2. What suggestion can you offer to Ryan to help him in developing a comprehensive human research plan to TPL Transport?
So this is the members of Group 12, Chapter 12. Supan Quincy, Ventura Rodelin, Villar Vincent, Supnet Jade Mariel, Toribio Ingrid Erich.